I started out, joined the Air Force in 1972, and then through a calamity of errors, mostly on my part, I ended up moving from a jet engine mechanic to a water and wastewater field. So mostly domestic wastewater and water treatment. I got out of the Air Force in Montana and then went to work for a small community there. Then I moved to Yakima in 1984. Then I ran the water treatment plant, and then I moved over to the downtown and took over the division. And then I ended up my career as Assistant Public Works Director. In the early 2000s, we were doing adjudication of water rights. And that was always just a fight. It was a miserable thing to go through court and over rehashing things. And then we finally settled our water rights. And then trying to do projects in the city was very difficult. It was difficult getting it permitted because we didn't trust each other. And then in 2009, we decided to have the integrated plan meeting. And I was invited to the table at the very first meeting to represent cities. And from then on, we started seeing each other and talking to each other, and we started building that trust, and things got a lot simpler after that. Some of the problems we had in getting the integrated plan started off was there were a few personalities in our group that had their mission of getting storage or getting fish passage or one thing or another, and they weren't really willing to wait for other people to get it done. So it took a while and a lot of discussion before we started thinking, well, let's do that anyway, and we know we're going to do this one. And then it ended up before long that the fish people were supporting our projects and we were supporting the fish people projects. We met every month for the first few years, and we got to know each other, and I think it was that personal connection that we get to know these people other than somebody sitting across the courtroom from us. I was a member of the Yakima Basin Joint Board, and some of the people there that represented the irrigation entities in our valley, and specifically Ron Van Gundy. Then there was Wendy Christensen from the Bureau of Reclamation, who I had known, and we worked on other projects together in the past. So those are two people that really come to mind that were really leaders in that. And then I got to know Derek Sanderson and then Tom Tebb in the end. Derek just had this ability to balance multiple projects across the spectrum and know a lot about a lot of different things, and was able to speak to them and be meaningful and helpful in the discussions, and to lead those discussions when we got off track to bring us back on track. Some of the projects we did here, aquifer storage and recovery, and we'd started that project with the city back in the 90s thinking about doing that. And then the integrated plan come on board, and we were looking for things to store water on. So aquifer storage and recovery come up to one, and Yakima was perfectly suited for that. We were drilling a new well, let's put it in. So the integrated plan helped pay for all the permitting and research into that. Then the next project was here at Nelson Dam. Now we call it Nelson, not Nelson Dam anymore, because we took the dam out. Built a new diversion structure here we're standing on, and now it's working just fine for the city, and we're able to make things happen, moving water rights from downstream to upstream, so we can do a park right down below us. We had a problem with one of our pipes leaving the water treatment plant. The bank was eroding and the pipe was exposed to the river. I was able to call up the Yakima Nation, and within hours I had people at the site, emergency approval, and we got the job fixed. Before the integrated plan, it would have been months before the Yakima Nation would have showed up. People are moving on. You know, Tom Tebb is retired, I've retired, Tom Ring is retired. There's been a lot of changes and a lot of different people sitting at the table. And we got to keep this going to understand that the trust we have with each other and the planning we have to do. And it's just to keep meeting and keep talking to each other. That's going to make it work.